this is just Who's Who. Like, it's not really Tombstone. It sounds more like Who's Who than anything. All right, and welcome back, guys. So it is 115 day, and Treyarch has just released their blog post. I'm gonna leave it in the description if you want to read the full thing yourself. And honestly, there is some really cool information in here. I haven't read the whole thing yet, but I was reading through the information for Tombstone. So Tombstone is going to be coming along with the new map, but it is not the same Tombstone we know and love. It has been changed up, and it looks like they're adding some elements of other perks, wrapping it all into one. So obviously, here we get the Firebase Z info. This will be coming out on February 1st during Season 1, and here's the official logo for it. In less than 3 weeks, Firebase Z will introduce zombie fans to an all-new location set in the jungles of Vietnam, along with new characters, new enemies, new gameplay mechanics, and much more. And keeping in with Zombies tradition, a new badass wonder weapon awaits. I'm really excited about new wonder weapons. Obviously, it's going to more than likely have the ray gun. Hopefully we see the Ray Gun Mark II at some point during this game's life cycle. The Ray Gun Mark II is extremely powerful, and the Ray Gun in this game is stronger than it has been in a long time. So I'd love to see what they do with the Ray Gun Mark II. Not going to be the wonder weapon we see on this map, but hopefully at some point we get to see that as well. But new wonder weapon, always fun. Really like the dye. Dye is great. I can't wait to see what they're doing with this one as too. Requiem versus Omega. Dimensional breaches continue to open around the world as both Omega and Requiem work in the shadows to ensure the sequency of their discoveries. The greater public remains blissfully unaware of this deadly new arms race between East and West, as two sides continue to study the Dark Aether dimension and Requiem crystals found within. Each strives for an advantage over the other on the ongoing Cold War. The bad news? Requiem has fallen behind. Omega's group's newest research outpost represents their surrounding success in harvesting Dark Aether technology for their own gains. Equipped with an on-site dimensional gateway, they've acquired the ability to send soldiers and other conscripts into Dark Aether to harvest Requiem crystals straight from the source. As a result, Omega's scientific breakthroughs in the last several months have far surpassed anything Requiem could have imagined. Pretty cool stuff there. I haven't really been following the storyline for this map too well. I haven't even done the Easter egg myself. It's like the only Dark Ops we haven't done. Been working on grinding those 1 million zombie kills more than anything. So Omega has developed new limitless power source R, Destination Outpost 25. Within the destruction of Project End Station Anomaly in their wake, Weaver and the agents of Requiem turn their attention to a far greater threat, a Dark Aether outbreak site in Southeast Asia. After learning Agent Maxis has been captured by the Omega group, Weaver develops Requiem's strike team to infiltrate the facility where she's reportedly being held. So right here is the picture of the new map we'll be getting in 3 weeks, boys. That is insane. Against all odds, Requiem forces will infiltrate the outpost, save Samantha Maxis, and above all else, survive the new horrors that await in this abandoned research facility. In the upcoming weeks, we'll have more Firebase Z story details, new intel reveals, and the official gameplay trailer to share in the lead up to launch. In the meantime, let's dive into the additional content coming to Zombies as Season 1 continues. Now here's where it gets to the really good stuff. That was background information. So this is the new Tombstone perk. This will be coming February 4th along with the new map, and it will be available on the current map we're playing. It should be available on all maps via the Wonder Machine. So as we may not have subtly hinted on New Year's Eve, we're bringing a 7th perk to Black Ops Cold War Zombies alongside the launch of Firebase Z, Tombstone Soda. But Treyarch, you ask, what's so new about Tombstone? Thanks for asking. Great question. When deciding on the next perk to introduce to Zombies, the design team reviewed the full history of every perk and ability from the past that centered around death, and ultimately rolled them into an incredibly useful perk in Black Ops Cold War. So essentially every perk that involves death, and as you can see, they're going to take a lot of elements of Who's Who, Tombstone, and pretty much all of the perks. I can't think of any of the other ones off the top of my head. What besides Tombstone and Who's Who? What I mean, is there any other perk that revolved around death? Off the top of my head, I can't think of any. Just Tombstone and Who's Who are the only two I can think of. So I think they're just talking about Who's Who. I don't know. Tombstone Soda is all about manipulating and cheating the consequences of death. You'll need it against the force awaiting for you in Vietnam. Unlike its first incarnation in Black Ops 2, The new and improved Tombstone Soda will now transform the player into a shadow within the Dark Aether after being downed. In the shadow form, you'll be equipped with weapons to help give you a fighting chance to revive yourself. However, if your health is reduced to 0 while you're in shadow form, you're dead. So essentially, Tombstone Soda doesn't really this is just who's who. Like, it's not really Tombstone. It sounds more like who's who than anything. And what it sounds like they did here, Tombstone is kind of the perk everyone knows. Who's who no one really likes. So it sounds like they just put the abilities of who's who, made them better, put it in Tombstone, and launched it. Because Tombstone, if you've never played Black Ops 2, when you die, you're given the option to hold X, and then you'll have a tombstone where you died. Next turn, you can spawn back in and get all your crap. But here, we can read all 3 tiers. They've released all 3 tiers of what Tombstone does. So, when down, become in the Shadow Dark Aether armed with your weapons that can revive you. If your Shadow loses its health, you die. So, and here's all the different things. Shadow form can regenerate health, so now when you die and respawn, you can regenerate health. Increase down duration to 60 seconds, so it sounds like you have a total of 60 seconds once you get it to tier 2 to revive yourself. On death, drop a Tombstone stash that saves your weapon. Oh, okay, so now it is Tombstone. So essentially, this is just who's who plus Tombstone, which is awesome. So Tombstone and who's who both were not the best perks. Tombstone was better than who's who, but who's who, they're both very meh perk. So essentially what they've done is by the time you have it fully upgraded, this is just one giant perk. So who's who, you only spawned with a pistol and it was very hard to revive yourself, but this you spawn in with weapons, they say, that can help you survive. You can regenerate health, you have 60 seconds to revive yourself, and if you fail, if you go into your who's who form and are not able to revive yourself, you are able to come back next round and get all of your weapons. That's amazing, especially when doing strats. Like if you're doing high round strats and you end up dying out and bleeding out with the ray gun, that's a big deal, because if you guys have been hitting the box with the ray gun, you know how ridiculous that is to get. And this gives player one, not only an option to revive themselves, but an option to keep their weapons, all their upgrades, and all of that crap when they come back. So that is really cool, and it sounds like the best of both worlds. It's Tombstone and who's who put into one. February 4th will also bring 2 new support score streaks to roll against the undead, Devastating Artillery and Napalm Strike. So once again, more multiplayer kill streaks coming in here. They tell us how much they cost. Of course, the zombie maps, new in-game intel. Keep an eye out for new audio logs, documents, radio communications, Dark Aether dispatches, artifacts throughout the Firebase Z. So they're adding new intel, and as you know, there's calling cards and essentially progression you can make towards getting all intel. I wonder if they're going to add new challenges to the base set, or if these are just going to be seasonal challenges to get essentially all of the intel on these new maps. I feel like that's probably how they'll end up doing it. But this map's coming in season 1, so I don't really know if there's going to be any reward for getting this intel, or if it's just going to, be kind of for the storyline style stuff, which is fine. Friendly reminder, if you haven't discovered 100% of the in-game intel within Die Machine on Onslaught yet, now's the time to complete your collection before the story continues. That to me doesn't really sound like a warning. I mean, that almost kind of sounds like a warning, like, hey, get it now or else, but I doubt it. I feel like all the old intel will still be there. You'll be able to get all that. I'm not too worried about that. It does make me, think a little bit there, because it's like, hey, get it now, but it'll still be there. There's no way they make it so it's not. And here's some info on Onslaught. If you're a PC player or an Xbox player, it doesn't really matter to us because we can't do anything with this. And on top of that, double weapon XP is now live. If you don't have Dark Aether, make sure you go out and grind that. DM Ultra, if your guns aren't max rank, go ahead, get that. If you already have every gun max rank, this means nothing to you. There's nothing you can do with that. And Zombies is free. If you play on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, go ahead and just download it. You can go on the battle.net store, search up Cold War Zombies, you'll find it there. PlayStation store, PSN store, Xbox store. If you haven't been playing this game, try it out. Zombies is great. I think you'll really, really like it. But here at the very end, boys, this is probably the most exciting thing. If you watched to this point, if you watched all the way to this video, to this last point, make sure you leave it in the comments below, because this is the best information here. Before we go, we'll leave you with this. What we talked about today is just a glimpse of what's planned for Zombies in 2021. If you think you know what to expect in Season 2, think again. That, to me, sounds like we're getting another map in Season 2. If they bring out a new map every single season, you know how much Zombies content that is. if we get a new perk, a new map every season, it might not be at the launch. It might be towards the end of season 2. But, dude, a new map every season. Because when this game first came out, people were like, oh, every other season we're going to get a zombies map. If we're getting one every season, that's a lot of zombies content, which is the biggest gripe. Everyone's been saying they love the zombies in this game. Like, everyone's saying it's some of the best zombies we played in a while. It's just the fact that there's not enough content. But, dude, a map every season, if these maps are good and fun to play, dude, that's a lot of content. And it's free. You don't have to buy it. All platforms get it at the same time. I don't know. I am really excited about zombies this year, and honestly this whole blog post has really kind of got me hyped for zombies. And usually I'm not too hyped about DLC. Like, it's been a long time. It has been a long time since I've been like, dude, cannot wait for the new zombies map. Black Ops 4, didn't care. I didn't play any of those maps at launch. Even Black Ops 3 towards the end, it was like, alright, cool. But dude, I'm really hyped for this, and I cannot wait for what this year has in store for zombies, mainly because I'm getting tired of multiplayer and the skill-based matchmaking. It's honestly getting on my nerves a lot, and now I can hop into this, boys. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, let's get ready for this year of zombies content, boys. Peace.